Hello, my beautiful humans, and welcome back, or welcome if you're new here, to the Authentically Blue podcast. I am your host, Carlson, and in this episode, I have another nonsense episode. If you're new here, nonsense episodes are episodes where I talk about my thoughts without a plan in hand, or I talk about what's in my journal in an unfiltered way. So I hope you enjoy this kind of episodes. If not, I obviously do episodes that are more topic based, but once in a while I like to ramble, and this is an authentic rambles episode. The time is 1 a.m. Tuesday the 21st of February 2023, and I'm currently in my grandmother's house in Kericho, aka my childhood home, and I love this place. It's amazing. But this is future me, because this episode was recorded on the 20th of January, and I had intended to release it on that week, but life happened, and here I am releasing it a month later. So there are a few things that I need to update you guys on. Firstly, in this episode, I talk about the fear of growing up. And the episode I'm doing next week is actually the episode I'm doing this week on Wednesday is all about growing up. And in this episode, in this current episode that you're listening to, I talk about the fear of growing up perfectly, even more than I do in next week's episodes. I might edit stuff out or edit stuff in to the next episode to make it make more sense. But that's a heads up for you. You'll hear me talk about how this episode is going to be released on 20th of January, which isn't. So that's a funny thing because the next episode is also growing up. The second thing I wanted to say is at the end of this episode, I touch on a few difficult people who come into my life and kind of made New Year's weird. And crazily enough, this week, these same people circled around and decided to create drama. Again, unnecessary, uncalled for drama. But who calls for drama? That's why I hesitated. I was like, wow, that sentence does not make sense. Anyway, it gave me an idea to actually record an episode on how to deal with difficult and delusional human beings. So stick around for that. Another episode I'm going to create, probably these two will be bonus episodes, is an episode all about journaling, because a few people have requested this, and I have touched on journaling in the habits episode, but I think people want it by itself because it's something I talk strongly about and I really enjoy, and there's different forms of it. So I will do an episode on that for you. So expect those two episodes coming out in the future. Lastly, I'm going to say is, in the beginning of this episode, I ramble a lot about social media. And I don't feel like what I said came across well. So I'm explaining it now so that when you listen, you have this context in the back of your mind. What I was trying to say is, every morning I have this habit of grabbing my phone. I kind of still do it, but I am more conscious about it. I grab my phone and I scroll through my social medias. Before, I would go through my Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter. I did not have TikTok at the time. Now I go through my TikTok and my YouTube shorts because I'm kind of addicted to those two. I like the short form content. I've battled between the two in a while, but right now I'm on a kick on short form content. I touch on that in the episode. However, there are times, and this is going to be unhealthy because I don't know what I'm coming across. I may come across all sorts of things, whereas with Instagram, it's more in my control what I'm seeing because I choose to follow these people, if that makes sense. But sometimes when I'm on YouTube Shorts and TikTok or even Instagram Reels, I come across these videos that inspire me and motivate me and make me feel so wholesome and good and bubbly. And I'm like, oh my God, if I wasn't here, I would never find this video. That's what I usually think, but I'm always grateful that I do see these videos. So that's what I was trying to say. And I hope all of that makes sense. That is it for me over here. I am going to let you enjoy this episode because it's kind of long. I believe it's going to be 25 minutes now. But enjoy this episode. Thank you for clicking in, and I hope you're having a beautiful week. Goodbye. Hello, my beautiful people, and welcome back to the Authentically Blue podcast. I am your host Carlson, and in today's episode, I'm doing another very rambly episode. I hope you're having a beautiful day, night, or time, wherever you are in the world. I don't know. I literally just woke up. I don't even want to say what time it is because it's late, but we know the jam. I stayed up last night bonding with my brother and finally convinced him to come on the podcast. So maybe that'll be an exciting thing we can do. And okay, let me tell you what the day. Let me tell you guys what the day is. It's Friday, the 20th of January, and I am in my uncle's house. I recorded an episode here a couple of weeks ago, and I remember saying how beautiful the interior design is. Well, there is an update. My aunt, who's married to my uncle, who I said in the previous episode, she is amazing at interior design. Lo and behold, is switching up her career to focus more on interior design and events. So I will link her Instagram down below. If you live in Kenya, you can definitely check her out and come through, support small business owners, see what she's all about. I'll take a picture and post it with their consent on my Instagram page, which will be linked down below. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I did something I haven't done in a very long time. Okay, well, I had to take that back because it's not really true, but we all go through this phase where when you're in bed and you wake up, grab your phone and you start scrolling. I used to do that, and then, okay, let me rephrase. I never used to do that, and then I went through a stage where I did it, and I'd go through all my socials, and then I'd stop and then get up and get on with my day. And I haven't really done that in a while because recently, the past few months, I haven't been on social media as much. I've been making an active choice to stay off it. But today, there are a few times here and there where I do take my phone and scroll, but I wouldn't go on certain apps. I'd mostly go on TikTok, even though TikTok is something I got recently. And I wouldn't do that on Instagram. Let me put it that way, because I don't use Snapchat as much. I wouldn't go on Instagram and Twitter. So I kind of like TikTok because it's funny videos, but there's there's a randomness of not knowing what's going to happen and what's going to pop up. So it's a 50-50, but there's more funny things guaranteed. Anyway, today I was on YouTube. I don't know what possessed me to open my YouTube app on my phone, but I opened the app, found myself on the YouTube Shorts segment, and I saw this video of someone asking people on the street, what is something you regret doing in your life? And whenever I see those videos on social media, it makes me very interested and intrigued because I am interested in people. And honestly, I would go in the middle of the street and ask people these very personal, deep questions. I don't know if that's disturbing, but that's just, I would do that. And the guy who was asked was taken aback by the question. He was like, whoa, that is a very deep question, deep and very personal question you're asking me. And after he got over the initial shock, he said, I married way too young and it was not the best thing for me and my partner at the time. And when he said that, I was like, the way he said it, he sounded very wise. And he said, I think he was 22 at the time or 23 and she was 20. And he talked about how, especially in your 20s, you're ever evolving and changing all the time. And it's too young, he said, even if you're sure about someone, he said, he didn't really say the word sure, but he said, even if you're sure about someone, from his personal advice, he said, don't rush into a commitment until your late 20s because you're changing and ever evolving and figuring out who you are as a person. And the episode I'm going to do next week, because this is kind of like a bonus episode. It's very random. I guess I'm going to call it a nonsense hashtag too. But the episode I'm going to do next week is all about growing up. During the last 2 years, I'd say, I went through phases where I just didn't like the idea of growing up. And I don't know how that sounds, but I don't know how that comes across. But for me, it just kind of became one of my fears where I was in another city, which is another episode I plan on doing. But actually, that's the next two, which is insane because I'm linking them or mentioning them in this one. Anyway, the idea of growing up, there was so much fear around it for me, and it kind of became daunting at some points and even haunting when people would mention like, oh, in 5 years' time. I literally give an example. I thought I was over this, and yesterday I was hanging out with some friends, and we were talking about how one of my friends will graduate in 2026. And I was like, and they were like, I wonder where like you will be in the future. Like, let us not do that, please. But yeah, I'm going to touch on that more in the next episode, growing up. I'm going to put up an Instagram poll. This is my early warning. So I will link both my Instagrams down below. So I'll probably post this episode today, and then, which is the 20th of February. And on Sunday, I will put up the poll on Instagram. So go participate or DM me or email me. Reach out, and, everything is linked down below. I would love to hear your thoughts and responses, an idea on growing up, plus tips on moving to a new city. I will link everything down below just to make it easier for you to remember. But yeah, I guess I don't think I have anything like much more to say. I just got inspiration from that video, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. Since it's low-key the middle of the day, I'm thinking, should I do like the segments portion before I sign off? So this is kind of longer, and I'm recording this during the day, which is very different because I hate it when it's very noisy and I can hear some sounds. So I'm sorry about that. I prefer when it's dead silent, even though it messes up my sleeping schedule, which, it's going to be fixed. I honestly rather suffer and not sleep, or like wake up in the middle of the night to record, because I don't know, maybe waking up in the future will happen. In the middle of the night in the future will happen. But for now, I just like the guarantee that the quality of the sound is really good. I even forgot to put the pop filter for this one. But hey, back to the authentic, or should I say original roots. I'm trying to think what I should add in the nonsense episodes. There's a point where I used to add things in my journal, but I haven't been journaling as much. Have I done an episode on journaling? No. Okay, that one is coming. My God, I just randomly remembered. This is the good thing about creating content. You just come up with more ideas as you go along. But actually, I think I mentioned this in an episode. I think it's the habits episode, where I talked about there's different forms of journaling. There is, writing down how your whole day went and how you feel about it. Or you can just do the good thing that's happened, or you can just do the bad, or a mix of both, or just how you're feeling and how you want to sort it out. I am a mixture of, I write down the main things that I'd like to remember about the day. And I also, oh no, apologies people, bear with me. This is how it would be during the day. Hold on. Kids shouting. It sounded louder from a distance when I had my headphones on. Anywho's, yeah, recently I've just been I haven't had anything stressful, knock on wood, happen recently, and I'm not saying it should. I'm just saying life's been kind of good lately. Last week and a half of January, on the other hand, were hella chaotic. And you know what's so crazy? It's because there's this thing with, my goodness, I'm so close to the word. There is this thing with New Year's, new me, and you want everything to be perfect during New Year's. Or this ideology of like this idea of a fresh start. And then when things don't go up to par or according to how you like it to be, it kind of like, oh, I wish that was amazing. But when like you don't need things to be a certain way for it to be a fresh start, like you can decide you can wake up tomorrow and have a fresh start. That was me during the new year. And I don't know if I explained that last point properly because there's so much noise, it's distracting me. But my point is, this is what I'm trying to say. Okay. When you have a fresh start and you know what you want to do, when you have a date like the New Year's or your birthday or the first of the month, that you're looking forward to these significant dates that allow you or propel you to make change, and improve things in your life, like the stepping stones or like marks. While on the other hand, you can literally decide at any hour of the day, it doesn't have to be in the morning, I am done with this shit. I am not going to continue eating unhealthily. I am not going to engage in that toxic relationship. I am not going to allow anybody in my life to treat me a certain way. I will stop being negative to myself. Whatever it is that you're working on or aiming for, you can do that at any point. However, I know all of this. So during the New Year's, when unexpected drama, family drama popped up, and it just hit different and affected me in a way I didn't expect it to. Looking backwards after unpacking for a little bit, I think the underlying tone was grief, and I feel like I was just missing my granddad so much, and I just thought, I don't know, there was links to it that made me think, okay, I wasn't acting irrational, I wasn't being over emotional, I wasn't being oversensitive, which all of these things are fine, but I think it just got to me more than I expected it to. And I was telling my mom, like, I just want you to have a good New Year. Like, why do they have to bring the drama in the New Year? My mom was like, why do people just stomp their feet outside? My mom didn't say that, but someone's stomping, I can hear them. Anyway, my mom was like, it doesn't have to be affect or disrupt him. Oh my God. My mom said, it doesn't have to affect or make your New Year's negative or worse or in a bad way. And I was like, I know that, but I just wanted it to be good, not the construction. Oh my God, I think this is a sign to wrap up this episode. Okay, you know what? I think I'm gonna end the episode here, and I'll just leave you with this, which honestly was low-key the main reason why I'm recording this episode. We as humans are ever evolving, ever changing, ever growing, so don't be harsh on yourself at this point. If you needed to hear that, I didn't necessarily need to hear that today, but when I did hear it, it touched my soul, and I felt so much comfort and joy in knowing there is no rush to things, there is no pressure. So be you. I was about to say be you boo, because that rhymes. So be you and live your life. You only have one life. You're here for a very short amount of time. So go crazy, have fun, and thank you for tuning in.